see Magnus just bring his rook to d8 after Hikaru stole a pawn. So Magnus's plan is now clear. Will he have enough time to execute it? That's the essential question. But with 2+ minutes on his clock, I do think it's looking like a task that he is capable of handling.
Yeah, 2 minutes. So on the board, he's fine. But is the clock going to tell the decisive factor here? I think you can jump in. There we go. The black rook has landed. Not just is this pawn up for grabs, the pawn behind it. And white has to bank everything on this passed pawn. You have to run it through somehow. You have to break the blockade, somehow evict this black bishop, kick it away, and somehow cause some problems for the black king. But on the board, it definitely looks like Magnus is in full control. And here we go. The position progressing. White's bishop is actually the one being kicked around. Black has 2 connected passed pawns. Hikaru doesn't look happy at all.
And the clock is about even. So Hikaru doesn't even have his lead on the clock. He's down material. That is terrible news for someone who needs to win this game.
Yeah, he needs to win it, but actually he should be the one defending. Look at the evaluation bar dropping down in black's favor. Those are 2 runners, those 2 black pawns. They're going to cost white some material.
And there's no stopping them. And we see Hikaru there. He is worried about his position, but he's still, wow, what just happened?
Things are turning again. This will happen a lot throughout this time scramble, but the black pawns are running. They look quicker. 2 normally run slower than 1, but those 2 connected passed pawns are so close to becoming queens.
Well, white can give a check and move his own pawn 1 square closer to the queening point at a8, but black's rook just saves it. And you've got these 2 pawns which are unstoppable. How do you fight these 2 central pawns?
Hikaru looks devastated. Hikaru looks like he's actually ready to resign almost. All you need to do is Magnus step some pawns forward. If you don't get flagged, you're guaranteed to win this Armageddon.
And now we have kind of a blitz game where it's about even on the clock and Magnus only needs a draw. And we saw the bar go about level, but I think the reason that it wasn't actually equal is because a draw is bad for Hikaru. It might have been a forced draw, and he can't have any part of that.
Yeah, Hikaru is simply a pawn down now. Neither of those pawns became queens, but it did come at the cost of more trades, more exchanges. And look at this classy move from Magnus. He's just trying to swap things off. He's now managed to get rid of the bishops, rid of a set of pawns. And Hikaru, is he going to try and flag Magnus? The answer is no, it's a draw. Magnus takes this Armageddon and the match.
And believe it or not, Hikaru is actually the one who offered the draw. That's the ultimate sign of respect. He wasn't going to try to flag somebody. He was 10 seconds behind on the clock against. That is a good show of sportsmanship.
Wow. We see a big smile on Magnus Carlsen's face and Hikaru shaking his head. The big match is over. Magnus Carlsen wins the winner finals with a draw in Armageddon. Hikaru Nakamura, what a fight he gave it. But he had to win in the Armageddon with a draw. It means he loses the winner's final. What do you think is going through his head right now, Robert?
Disappointment, but I do think that Magnus played the better chess between the 2. It was close, but I think that when we had this final game set up, Magnus was never really in trouble over the board. So Hikaru probably upset he didn't maximize some of his chances. It just wasn't meant to be.